4:17 on a Sunday afternoon. Hope you've had a great weekend so far. We're here covering for you, watching these strong and at times severe storms come across the Florida Peninsula. We believe in Daytona Beach just got the clear the beach order from Volusia County, folks, and you can see the vehicle here with the flashing lights going on by. There's about to be a ton of lightning in Daytona Beach from a strong thunderstorm coming on in. So we're going to have Stephanie Buffamonte, who's down at MCO. We've got some developing news this afternoon. Both Tampa and Orlando are at ground stops because of the weather and have been for an unusually long time and ahead of the storms. So we'll go to her coming up in a hot second. But right now it's 81 Daytona Beach. Here's your situation right now and the status report. I'm going to move this out of the way and I'm going to get out of the way so you can see what I'm talking about. So a couple of things to know about here. First things first. Let me move that little text behind the bottom there so you can see it. In the red over here from Tampa Bay to Spring Hill, Holiday, to about Bushnell and Webster. So over in here, there's a locally more favorable environment for a few brief tornadoes. Hence why you see this light red colors beneath the radar. There's a tornado watch there. So Tampa Bay area, Clearwater, St. Pete, Spring Hill, Webster. You see there's a little strong storm here. A little bit better chance that there could be a severe storm gust, which is 60 or higher miles an hour, or a tornado in the next 90 minutes or so. Up here by Palm Coast, we're watching a renegade supercell, meaning it's a storm on its own, otherwise in an area where there's not really much strong anything. In fact, it's just raining here in the villages right now. So we're watching this storm as it approaches the beach, northern Volusia County, southern Flagler County. Small chance of a brief severe gust or a brief tornado warning here through about 5 o'clock. Once this storm gets offshore, this one will have no more concern for us. Out here on the Space Coast, there's a couple of little popcorny type showers with some thunder and lightning. Had there been more wind shear, we're just too far away from the low, which is up in Ohio. Had the low level winds, or in other words, the wind outside your door, been stronger, these here probably would be producing tornadoes now, but they're not currently. So in the black shaded area, that's Orlando, Deltona, Kissimmee, Titusville, Cocoa Beach. We're watching, but candidly, I think the severe threat is pretty low for the rest of the evening. And I'll explain to you why that is coming up in a few minutes. So let me show you the Florida view here of the radar with the lightning. There's a lot of lightning though. I think everybody will see at least some rain, some gusty winds, and vivid lightning over the next few hours. So we've got a ground stop in effect at MCO in Tampa. A lot of lightning. There's that line of storms. It's pushing to the east, and now I want to bring in our colleague, reporter Stephanie Buffamonte, who's down at MCO. So Steph, by now I know there's probably a lot of people on planes that are texting relatives saying what's going on. What are the scenes like there? What's going on? What are you hearing?
Yeah, so a lot of frustrations. Obviously, people here understand with weather, you don't want to be unsafe, but it is frustrating when you get here, your flight is delayed, and then canceled. And just to show you what that looks like, look at the board here for the departures. All red, and red means delayed or canceled. And if you just take a look at the airport right now, you'll see lots of people just sitting around waiting. We saw some people sleeping on the ground. A lot of people told me that they got here this afternoon to find out that their flight was delayed. Some people made it to the gate, made it to the check-in. They were delayed, and then they got the news that their flight was canceled. So that has been the story of the day here at Orlando International Airport. People that I've spoke to, most people were rebooked for tomorrow night. So definitely causing quite the mess here in Orlando. Noah?
Yeah, Steph, did you see any weather or lightning off in the distance, or any big traffic going down to the airport when you guys are going down there?
No, I didn't. Actually, it was pretty clear when we got here, but we got here around 3:30. And then we've been inside the airport since. But I will say you also have spring break travel right now, which makes this for a pretty sticky situation when you have weather delays and a ground stop because of weather, in addition to an already packed airport because of spring break with a lot of travelers for that. So when we were pulling into the airport, we saw that some of the garages for parking were already full. So that just speaks to how many people were already here to travel for spring break, and then you have something like this happen.
Stephanie, I don't know if you can hear me again. One more question for you. I know sometimes this varies at airports across the U.S. when there's weather-induced delays like this. Now, Florida, this happens, as you know, a lot more common. We get lightning-induced delays or ground stops. Are they still letting people through TSA or no?
Yeah, so if we go this way, you can see the line for TSA. There are people who are checking into their flights. I've spoke to some people who said that their flight says it's still on time, but then we hear that they kind of get to their gate and find out that they're delayed. So I think people are going to their gates, and then we'll see what happens. Of course, you don't want to miss your flight if something does happen and it gets rebooked for a later time in the evening, but they are still letting people through TSA, and I'm assuming that they're going to their gate to sit there, maybe get some food inside.
Steph, you know, it'll be interesting, too, to see if that tram gets delayed at all from the lightning that approaches. You'll have to keep us updated or see it later in about an hour or two.
Yes. Yeah, we can go through, but I'm trying to take a look quick to see if I can see it. I can't see from my vantage point, but we kind of see a lot of people going through security and then going to, if you've ever traveled here, which most people probably have, going to that waiting area. I can see people waiting for the tram. So assuming it's still working right now.
Yeah, so it looks like, Steph, a very impactful Sunday at MCO. And we'll hope that this gets lifted soon, but it looks like it might be a few more hours if you talk to anybody. Because not until this line of storms is east, which could be 3-4 hours from now, it looks like they're going to still be impacted.
Like they always say, pack your patience, and especially for today.
Stephanie, we appreciate you. Get back safe. Thank you. And as you just heard from Steph down at MCO, you can see that purple icon here, meaning that Orlando International is at a ground stop. Now, as far as we can tell, Sanford, the Allegiant flights there, Daytona Beach, Melbourne, Daytona Beach, more hubs for American flights, American Air. Both are still doing in and outbound flights. MCO in Tampa at ground stops, and it's partly because the FAA did this because of the high level clouds and the lightning. It's very difficult to change the routing patterns when you have such a long line of storms like we've got. So if you missed the quick synopsis, in the black, we're watching, but the severe risk candidly looks pretty low, which is good news. We're watching this one strong storm for a brief tornado in Palm Coast and northern Volusia County through 5. Now in this area, I showed you this before we tossed to Steph, there's a little more favored area of spin in the atmosphere, and because of that, one storm just came in off the Gulf, and you see that flashing red polygon there. That is a new tornado warning that was issued while we were just talking to Stephanie. And for more on that cell there, I want to toss it now to my colleague, meteorologist Laurel Blanchard. Laurel, that warning just got issued a few minutes ago.
Yeah, Noah, that's something that we're going to be watching, especially those storms that are coming off the coast. But I do want to start off real quick with the storms that are currently impacting our viewing area right on the coast of Flagler County and Palm Coast. Lots of lightning happening there. And let me actually turn on the interaction for this map right here so I can actually do a live radar analysis with you happening right now. Just talking big picture at the moment, because again, that tornado warning not in our viewing area, but something just to keep an eye on. With this tornado watch that was in effect until 3 p.m. was extended for Marion, parts of Flagler, Putnam counties until 5 p.m. So that's something that we're watching right now. And now as we do take a little bit of a closer look in across Palm Coast area, lots of lightning happening right here, and that's why there is a special weather statement in effect for Flagler County. So if you are in these regions, you are seeing a lot of lightning. 282 lightning strikes just within this little patch of storms alone. And if I do switch over using the Jackson radar, or the Jacksonville radar, this is the one that's best viewing all of these storms right here. So switching over to Jackson, also taking a look at the storm relative velocity. This is how the storm is moving without the forward motion right here. So if I also turn off the lightning so we can actually see the rotation just over Palm Coast, there is just a little bit of that rotation, and it looks like there's a little bit more rotation just off the shore of St. Johns County. So this is something that we're going to be watching. Doesn't look like it's too much of a threat. However, if it does make its way off coast, it may get a little bit of wind shear that could amp up that rotation and maybe lead to a quick water spout just off the coast of Flagler. So that's something that we're watching very carefully as we continue to see just this very powerful cluster of storms make its way off the coast. So that's one area that we're watching. I do want to reset real quick and actually take a wide view of our viewing area, because again, we did mention a tornado warning, and this is again just off the west coast. So in the Tampa viewing area, this is mainly being affected there. So I do want to switch over to the Tampa radar. Let's start off with the reflectivity right here. We're seeing a very bright spot, and I'm going to close in real quick on that Spring Hill area starting to move in. So again, this is a tornado warning in effect until 4:45 for Hernando County, Florida. This is something again that we're just going to be watching, not in our viewing area, just something to mention. And again, this area under a tornado watch until 5 p.m. So same as our tornado watch in effect for Marion and as well as Flagler County beaches. So we're going to be watching this very carefully as we head through the rest of the evening. But with this, I do want to take a look once again at the rotation of this storm. And really what we're seeing right here is the winds going towards the radar and away from the radar. Green is going towards, and the Tampa radar is down just to the south, and then the winds going away from the radar as we make our way back up towards Homosassa Springs right there. So that's something that we're going to be watching. We have this little bit of rotation, and it's just that little bit of rotation, and especially in an environment like this where we have untapped energy in the atmosphere, that is what we are keeping an eye on right there through the rest of the evening, just for the potential of little quick spin-ups as the storm continues to roll through. Noah, we'll toss it back to you.
Yeah, good stuff, Laurel. The good news is, as you said, it looks like that warning probably going to stay to our west for right now, and it doesn't look like it dropped any tornado yet there in Hernando County. But just wanted to show real quick before we end this streaming update for everybody, the reason for the airport delays, and this happens a lot in the summer, but this is a very impactful line based on its orientation and the amount of lightning. We issued the storm alert day to heighten your awareness that the weather is going to impact you today, and there's going to be a lot of downpours, a lot of lightning here over the next few hours. Look at the lightning count, 1,000 bolts. Let me confirm that is in the last 15 minutes. That is a ton of lightning. So Orlando and Tampa, if you got friends who are sitting on a plane on a tarmac, or friends at another family at another airport in the U.S. waiting to come in, neither airport is going to get a lot in or going until this whole line is east of both cities, which probably won't be until about 8 or even 9 o'clock. Even by that point, the severe threat probably will be gone, but a lot of lightning and downpours will continue. Hence, that story at Orlando and Tampa could be highly impactful for several more hours yet to come. We'll continue to have updates on our Storm Alert Day here on Fox 35, on air, online, and on Fox Local. Meteorologist Noah Bergen and Laurel Blanchard signing off. We'll be back with you as conditions warrant through the evening.